So you need a job. It's medieval times, opportunities are limited, and someone offers you a position that pays decent money and comes with housing. Sounds good, right? Except the job is being an executioner. You kill people for a living, and your life is about to become absolutely miserable in ways you didn't expect. First off, let's be clear about what this job actually involves. You're not just executing criminals. You're the guy who carries out every brutal punishment the legal system dishes out. Hangings, beheadings, torture sessions, burnings, everything. If someone needs to be publicly hurt or killed, that's you. That's your whole job. And here's the thing, nobody tells you. Everyone is going to hate you for it. Talk about being hated for just doing your job diligently, like genuinely, deeply hate you. You're going to be the most despised person in your entire town. Even though you're just doing what the law requires, even though someone has to do this job, people are going to treat you like you're cursed. You can't live in the normal part of town. In many places, executioners are legally required to live outside the city walls or in a specific area away from everyone else. You're literally segregated from society. Your house is probably near the gallows or the execution ground, because that's where people like you belong, apparently. You can't go to regular taverns. You can't worship at the main church. You have to sit in a special section or attend at different times. You can't use the same public wells as everyone else. In some places, you can't even walk on the same side of the street as normal people. You have to wear special clothing or markers so everyone knows to avoid you. Why? Because people think you're spiritually contaminated. You deal with death, blood, and criminals, so you're considered unclean, tainted, bad luck. People genuinely believe that touching you or your belongings will bring misfortune. They cross the street when they see you coming. They won't make eye contact. Your kids, if you have kids, they're outcast too. Other children aren't allowed to play with them. They can't attend regular schools. They're bullied and shunned for something that's not even their fault, just because of what you do for a living. And speaking of kids, your profession is hereditary. Your children are expected to become executioners too, because nobody else will marry them or hire them for normal work. You're creating a dynasty of despised people. Your family line is locked into this job for generations. But look at the bright side. It's generational wealth. Dating is basically impossible if you're not already married. Who's going to marry an executioner? You're untouchable, literally. Most executioners marry within executioner families because those are the only people who'll have them. You're creating this closed-off community of people that society has rejected. Now let's talk about the actual work because it's absolutely brutal. Beheadings sound quick and clean, right? One swing, it's over. Except it's not that simple. You need to be really skilled with an axe or a sword to do it in one clean hit. If you mess up, if your aim is off, or you don't swing hard enough, you don't fully sever the head. You have to hit again and again. While the person is still alive and the crowd is screaming and their family is watching in horror. And everyone blames you, not the legal system that sentenced this person to death, not the judge. You, because you're the one who messed up the execution. Your reputation depends on being able to kill people efficiently and cleanly. That's the standard you're held to. You practice on corpses and animals to get your technique right. You're studying angles and blade sharpness and exactly where to strike. You're basically a specialized killer, and you have to be good at it, or everyone thinks you're even more terrible than they already do. Hangings are worse in some ways. You have to calculate the drop distance based on the person's weight. Too short and they strangle slowly, which can take 10 minutes or more of horrible suffering. Too long and you might rip their head off, which is considered undignified. You're doing math to figure out how to kill people properly, and sometimes you're required to torture people first. Breaking people on the wheel, stretching them on the rack, other horrible things that I won't describe in detail. You're inflicting extreme pain on people, listening to them scream and beg because that's what the court ordered. Maybe they're guilty of serious crimes. Maybe they're not. Either way, you're the one doing it. You have to maintain your equipment. Your axes and swords need to be sharp. Your ropes need to be strong. Your torture devices need to work properly. You're essentially running a small business dedicated to killing and hurting people. Legally, at least. You probably have an assistant or apprentice, likely a family member, because who else would work with you? The executions are public events. Huge crowds gather to watch. Sometimes it's treated like entertainment. People bring their kids. They sell food. It's a whole spectacle. And you're the main performer, except if the performance goes badly, the crowd might riot. They might throw things at you. They might attack you. Some criminals curse you before they die. They swear revenge. They call down divine punishment on you and your family. And you have to stand there and take it, because what are you going to say? I'm just doing my job doesn't really help when someone is damning your soul with their last breath. You live with the knowledge that you've killed dozens, maybe hundreds of people. You remember their faces. You remember the ones who were brave, the ones who begged, the ones who were probably innocent. You remember the mistakes you made, the executions that went wrong, and you can't talk to anyone about it. You can't process this trauma with friends because you don't have friends. You can't seek comfort from your community because your community wants nothing to do with you. You're isolated with your guilt and your memories and the blood on your hands. The pay is decent, sure. You get a salary from the city. You often get to keep the clothes and belongings of the executed, which you can sell. Some executioners got wealthy. But money doesn't buy you respect or friendship or a normal life. Blood money, they would say. You're also expected to do other dirty jobs nobody wants. Cleaning the streets, removing dead animals, disposing of waste. Because if you already deal with death and filth, might as well pile on more unpleasant tasks. You're the city's designated disgusting person. And here's a dark irony. If you commit a crime yourself, who executes you? Often another executioner from a different city has to be brought in because you can't execute yourself and nobody else is qualified or willing to do it. Some executioners tried to rehabilitate their image. They'd perform their duties with dignity. They'd pray for the condemned. They'd make charitable donations. It didn't really help. People still hated them. Your entire existence is defined by death. You wake up in your isolated house, you maintain your killing equipment, you execute people in front of jeering crowds, you go home alone. Your neighbors despise you. Your profession is inherited by your children, who'll suffer the same fate. You're spiritually contaminated in the eyes of society. You're necessary for the legal system to function, but you're punished socially for providing that necessity. You're doing what the authorities command, but you're treated like you're evil for doing it. So yeah, being a medieval executioner, decent pay, guaranteed housing, job security, but also complete social isolation, hereditary stigma, the trauma of killing people regularly, and the knowledge that everyone around you thinks you're cursed. The axe was pretty well made, though.